Yeah, so I think the way that, to answer your question is that we've adopted an AI approach to evaluating these candidates consistently and evaluate way. And the way that the AI is working, and it's really helping the recruiter augmenting the job they can do. I was reading an article this weekend. It says, really the advantage of AI has really been in that role. We have one customer is saving 16 hours a week for a recruiter that used to do initial interview schemes. So you imagine 16 hours on a large team, that's 40% of their workload has been relieved. And not only that, they're getting better outcomes. So less absenteeism, less turnover, more revenues. So just by focusing on hiring, screening the skills that you need instead of using the CV, just by that basic little move, you're saving 40% of the time.
So, of course, that is a way that AI is helping, but we also talk about the human aspect of human resources, right? So, where are the ways that you think that the human aspect still should and is more beneficial to play a role?
Yeah, so for the customers who've adopted this at the first part of the hiring stack, at really at like the top of the funnel, using AI, it eliminates all those candidates that basically don't have the skills, and then the recruiters can really use their skills because they know that these candidates have the skills. Now you're asking them questions, you're interviewing for cultural fit, you're making sure that they're adaptable. So other things beyond the skill set. And I think that's the really where the intersection of AI and the human comes in. It's really the best of both worlds, optimizing for finding quick candidates quickly and making your hiring stack much more efficient.
And for the job seeker, maybe they're applying to jobs with companies that aren't really focusing on those skills or don't know that they need to focus on those skills, but maybe they're listening to the show and they're like, you know what? Skills is the way to go. How does a job seeker put that in their resume, their email, their application? How can you maybe get an advantage from listening today?
Yeah, yeah. So I think one of the things that the way that we've approached it, if you do our assessment, you get a gap analysis. So you'll know exactly what skills you have and what skills you don't have. And again, there's a lot of resources around soft skills and how to upskill yourself. But using this skills approach is beneficial for the companies, for the employees, and also for the candidates who don't make it because it's giving you insight into where I need to improve. And that's really important. Like I think you need to be better at upselling. You need to be better at fluency. So giving them some guideline is really helpful.
Awesome. And I mentioned this a little bit earlier with you, your company you co-founded called Stinky Board with a fun name. Can you talk a little bit about that? We saw that and we were like, we need to know more.
You need to know more. Yes, I was the founder of that company a long time ago. It was a gaming foot pedal that sat on the floor and it gave gamers a huge advantage. It was really impressive. And we were a bootstrap company, capital efficient. We wanted to make an impact. We didn't have lots of marketing dollars. And let me tell you, that name Stinky Board, it created such a marketing. So we were in all kinds of magazines, and there are people who hated the name and people who loved it. But the funny thing is, after a few years, the hate went away. I think that the product was so good. And back to when we started this company, we had these t-shirts at conferences that said F interviews. And I think it's in the same vein. What do you do when you're a small company trying to make an impact with, being bootstrapped? I think you need to be able to shock the world a little bit.
You do. You have to stand up out somehow. And clearly, we're talking about it today. So, great naming choice there. But obviously, that is very different working in the gaming world as opposed to what you're doing now in the HR space. So, just personally, what was that transition for you that got you interested into doing some other things in the HR world?
Yeah, I think I was always interested in solving problems from a very young age.